What's going on? What's going on? Brutus here, bringing you another brutally honest video. And today, you can tell from the title that I have the infamous Snip alumni for War Whales. What's going on, man?
I think you misspoke there. You have the not famous from War Whales. Scriptus alumnus. Yeah, what's up, man? Thanks for having me on your...
Yeah, brutally honest.
Brutally honest? Okay, so we're gonna brutally
yes. Well, no, not at all. Well, I will say that you agreed to say this to have this interview a long time ago, and you're like, "Hey, let's do it this weekend." I'm like, "No, I don't want to, not yet." And the reason why is, this is gonna be posted the day before the Archer Queen Conference finals. I was really hoping this would happen. And so I knew there's a lot of hype around the Archer Queen Conference, and you're kind of the face and voice of War Whales ever since the white what's his name, Morgan Freeman. Yeah.
The white Morgan Freeman, yes. Hashtag TW. What is it? TWMF.
Yeah, so you're kind of the face for them. So I mean, this was perfect timing, and I wanted to bring you on here. So thank you for doing that. And I think
Did you say there's a
I
war
don't know.
coming up?
I mean,
some kind of war between.
Have you opened up? Have you opened up Clash lately?
I haven't opened up Clash in the past couple of days. I didn't know if there was.
I think unless there's more than one Snip alumni, but I could have sworn I counted at least two over on the other side of the map when I opened up.
Or did you get the wrong person to interview? That's awkward. Yeah, no, definitely. So this is gonna go out on Saturday?
No, it's gonna go out Friday night. As soon as we're done, I'm posting this thing.
Oh, good lord! So it's a nice
pre-hypeness.
All right,
pre-hype.
Pre-hype. Okay. Well, I guess I should get fierce then.
You should. Well, I mean, I am kind of consulting with the enemy, so I just let it be known. I don't know what his base looks like. He doesn't know what my bases look like. There's none of that going on.
I screenshotted them all our traps.
No one likes a leaker. The reason why I called you infamous is you don't know this, and we've been talking just for a little while before we started this, but I have been aware of you from Jake from OneHive raids in his live videos, and I remember your name stuck out when you were doing a Queen Walk Vaho, and I remember it. And you know what? I'm going to find it on his channel because it's still there. I'll link it in the description. You guys can all check it out. And I remember that even Jake was like, "Man, that thing was so beautiful." And I myself thought the same thing. It was just well executed. It was just nice. And so I remember that name, and that's why I refer to you as infamous.
Wait, you said
yeah, that's how old it was. When you were at OneHive, yeah, live with Jake.
Live with Jake? I think that was Dirt, to be honest, because Dirt had a really absolutely wrecked live with OneHive. I actually failed my first live with OneHive.
Maybe it was the second one. What was your second one?
And the first one was a Queen Walk, I think Lalo or something, and I failed. And then the second one was was Dragons.
I swear, maybe what? I'm gonna be funny if it was Dirt. If it is, I'll still link it. But I remember watching your live.
Dirt was in between my fail and redemption was Dirt, and he did a beautiful. I mean, Dirt is the infamous Queen Walk Bajo, so
we'll find out. I'll do research after this and link it on there anyway. But that's how I learned of you.
Well, yeah, there's a funny fail. So if people want to watch the fail, there's my first one, and then I was lucky enough to get redemption on the second one.
Where's the name Snip alumni come from? Because that's the first question I have for you.
Starting from the basics. So Snip alumni. Snip alumni was actually my DJ name. Funny enough, we just talked about this. So back in college, I got into DJ and production a little bit. Got into the whole electronic music scene, being here in LA, where it's quite popular. And Snip came from Snip Skateboards. Was a skateboard company that is how I became close with a lot of friends in high school. And then one of my buddies, we actually kind of were like producing together. And so since the name Snip was really old, it came from high school, that's where we called ourselves the Snip Alumni, and the name kind of just stuck. And then when I created the Clash account, I just had to put in a name, and I already had that DJ name, so just tossed it in there.
That's interesting, because I actually, from your channel, because you weren't always with War Whales, and this is way before you even had your stint at OneHive. You were at a clan UCLA, right?
Yep. I started watching Jake's channel when I was in UCLA, which is just when I started kind of, what was it? I started kind of discovering, I guess, YouTube, and discovering that Clash had more to it than whatever probably I was watching beforehand, like Galadon and Clash with Cam, and just funny stuff. When I started to want to join a more serious war clan, I searched UCLA because I was in Westwood in UCLA right there. And so I searched it, and that is when I found a war clan UCLA that had a lot of wins. So I just randomly applied there. And in there is where someone introduced me to Jake's channel. And so kind of inspired me, and I started doing YouTube while I was in that clan before.
What made you decide to join OneHive?
Jake's channel.
Right on.
100%. It was actually funny. I actually was split. It was a split decision between, because at the time the two YouTubes that inspired me that I really liked were Jake and Swideman.
Reddit Troopers, right?
And Swideman. Yeah, well, I was watching him back when he was in Hebrew Legends, and this was all before I didn't even know what modding was at the time. I just thought like they were just doing amazing attacks. I had no idea. I don't know. I never really heard Jake talk about modding that much, I guess, or was oblivious. And so I was deciding. I just made up my mind that I was gonna either join Reddit Troopers or try to join Reddit Troopers or OneHive. And I guess I don't even remember why really, but I just went with OneHive. So could have had quite a different Clash path. I joined Reddit Troopers.
And then you ended up over at War Whales. But were you always still doing? Because let me say it this way: when you joined War Whales, was the white Morgan Freeman still doing the recaps? So how did that play off at what? Because you're basically the front man now for War Whales. How did that? When did and how did that transition kind of happen for you?
So I mean, I've been doing the channel. Even in OneHive, I was doing my channel. Even though, of course, Jake was, the OneHive guy, I wasn't at all. I mean, it started when I was in Prime, kind of. I was kind of doing some stuff for Prime because Prime didn't have a YouTube. But then when I got the promo and went up to 1.0, I still had my channel going, but it was kind of more. It wasn't. My channel was never clan focused. It's called Snip Attacks. It wasn't called
you were
like
documenting your journey in a way, weren't you? That's what it looked like to me.
Right. I was just documenting just attacks, and I don't know. I just really getting into YouTube was basically just thought it would be cool because I liked watching them. I liked commentary, and I thought it would be a cool thing to get into, and do commentary. It would make me a better speaker. Like I didn't see a downside to it, so I just figured we'll start doing it, see where it goes. But yeah, so it was never really tied to a clan. But when I joined War Whales, and John's a really cool guy. He's one of the coolest guys for sure I've met in this game. Shout out to Mr. Morgan. And so I reached out to him when I got there, and I said, hey, don't want to step on any toes, but I do YouTube, so I hope you don't mind if I am highlighting attacks here. And he was just like, absolutely, it's totally cool. And then eventually, I think my channel was like it was like around 1,000 or a little over 1,000, I think, subs. So it's still really small. I mean, it's still small. But when I got there, and so War Whales, I think, was like 2,500 or something. And then as I got more familiar and comfortable in War Whales, started to be more, friendly with everyone, we started to kind of collaborate on, okay, I'm doing these ones, to not duplicate. Yep. So he actually started to coordinate with me. And then, I mean, he was kind of burning out on that stuff, I feel like, because he kind of cleverly and slyly put me into the he passed off the torch willingly, we could say, because I remember he pulled me into when he pulled me into being a co-leader. It was kind of to be because I told him when he first reached out, I said I don't really want additional quote unquote responsibilities of doing like setting up wars and stuff. and he just kind of said, you're already kind of becoming like a kind of face of War Whales, a representative in the community. So he's like, why don't we just bring you on as a co? And that's kind of your position there will be YouTube and kind of PR. So that's kind of how it happened. He just kind of stopped.
Well,
I
did remember that even with the White Morgan Freeman, I watched them when they were warring against a lot. Like I remember GS96. I think it was that war maybe where War Whales played against GS96. And he like never talked for the longest time. His recaps was like he wouldn't talk. And I remember one video of him that he's like, okay, so I'm going to try talking. This might be the last time. And ever since then, he only talked. And that's where the White Morgan Freeman nickname came in.
Well, yeah, immediately everyone was addicted to the voice. I mean, we joked about it. That was GUnit, of course. Got to give shout out to GUnit, of course, is going to come up at some point. But shout out to my boys. And we when we were deciding, thinking about leaving OneHive and not really sure what we wanted to do, we had started watching War Whales recaps, and that's kind of what. So he kind of is what lured us to OneHive, and we realized later that his recaps are like a siren's call. You don't even realize it, but you just kind of get drawn to War Whales through the siren call.
What is the unit? And no BS. I really don't know, man. I'm that out of the loop. I know it's all over your channel, but I don't know the history of it at all.
Well, the unit definitely transcends the infamy of me. The unit is basically our crew. It originally was called GUnit. And the funny thing is, it came from the spawn was from Live with Jake. So back in OneHive, when I first reached out to Jake and we talked about doing the Live with OneHive, I really wanted to plan and have a nice triple for the video. I'm not sure it worked out well, but so I just made a GM group with Butt Buddy, Dirt, and Garsky. So
Garsake.
Garsake. Yeah, so I made a group. I just happened to call it GUnit because I just didn't know what to call it. Just called it that, and made that group with them because those were the guys that I used to. We really got along and voice planned all the time. So just made the group with them and said, hey, will you guys help me out with this? And then it just turned into the chat. Like that little group is the one that we actually like turned out to be talking in the most and really liked it. So throughout everything, all the moves and stuff, and we've added members since then. Holy Buck, Moi, and Wheat and Trigga were the additions. And the 8 of us pretty much through, even after all of us moving clans now, I'm not in a clan with any of them, even though they came to War Whales. That's kind of, that group has always stuck and been the one that we just kind of all our little clique.
I really had no idea, and that's so interesting because those are all names that I'm familiar with because I remember watching them all do things, and I know and I do recognize them all being in different clans right now. Like,
Yep, that was the original OneHive crew that we were all kind of clicked together in OneHive. Because actually, Garsky, myself, and Butt Buddy all came. Dirt was first, but then the rest of us, like I was in, what's it called, the OneHive tryout clan, or it used to be
Step 1, Step 1, I think.
Step 1 or something. Yeah, so I was in Step 1 with Butt Buddy the first time, and interesting fact, I actually failed tryouts the first time. I was in with Butt Buddy. I got the boot.
Oh my gosh!
Cheatham sent me a nice kick message that said like, "Sorry, you failed tryouts. Keep clashing, bro," or something like that. So I was devastated, but reached back out and said, "Hey, I think I had a shitty tryout. I'm actually better than that. Can I try out?" And they let me try out a second time. So I was in tryouts with Butt Buddy. He moved on to 1.0 like right away, and then I went back. And the second time around, I was with Garsky, and so yeah, then I was in OneHive Prime, and Butt Buddy was in 1.0, and I remember messaging him being like, "Hey man, do you remember me? I was in tryouts. Like, how's 1.0?"
That is crazy.
Like,
I never would have guessed any of that. Like for real, never would have guessed any of that. What was when you went over to when the decision came that you went to War Whales? I gotta ask personally because what was the application process like to get to War Whales back in the day? Only because I personally. It's going to blow your mind, but I also
Would
not
love to
at all.
join
You're
War
not going to
Whales.
get that, but I'm very happy where I'm at. But no, I applied to War Whales way before when I applied to OneHive Genesis as a town hall like 8.5 or 9, and then gave me a pass. They're like it's too saturated at the time, and then I ended up at Team WBT. But I also knocked on GS96 door. This is how I ran into the White Morgan Freeman and stuff like that. But I remember there was like a website where for War Whales I actually did message and I never got a response. It was a website that more like a forum. It wasn't warwhales.com. It was more like a forum. But so what was that what it was like when you had to go over to War Whales for application?
No. Well, so I do actually. I've gotten quite a few messages and stuff and comments on my channel and stuff. Sometimes people say like, "Hey, I applied and
Right.
haven't heard back in a while." They do get swamped with applications. That we have a website now. It's warwhales.com for applications, and it is. I mean, they get a ton of applications, and we have a very low turnover rate. So, you know, and they are. I don't know. I'm not in the recruitment department, but I know I have gotten messages before. And I am in contact, of course, with the guys who are doing it, and they just have shown me the application sheets, and it's like they can only do so much.
But you're in the know. You have pull, don't you? I bet you get that all the time.
Yeah. When people ask me specifically, and if it's someone I know, you know, of course favors can be done, but or bumped up on the list. But I actually didn't go through an application process when I joined War Whales.
You just like you got the red carpet treatment, huh?
I did. I was chatting with. It's actually funny how I got in touch with Jim, who was the leader, because when we were on our kind of deciding, we had kind of already decided we were going to leave OneHive, but like I mentioned before, we weren't sure on where we were going to go. Dirt took a nice long break. Garsky took a break as well. I took a few weeks as break as well, just kind of away from any war scene. But I was in some GM chat called the Internet, which Blue Proud, may he rest in peace, probably a super famous name too for anyone that watched OneHive raids. Blue Proud brought me into this group called the Internet that was just a random assortment of people. I don't even remember what it was like, what the point of it was, but somehow Jim was in that group. And so from there, I just had direct contact with Jim, who was the leader. And when I told him that I was leaving and didn't really know what I was going to do, he offered me a spot if I wanted to in War Whales. So after a couple week break, I did go there to test out the waters, quote unquote. Because at that point, I had kind of decided. The only two places that I really had my eye on were North Remembers and War Whales. And I was in contact with Amanda, and I actually did go and do a couple guest wars in my break with North Remembers. Laid a nice egg there, so I'm sure they really wanted me. But but my one war in North Remembers, I did double not 3 stars.
Double goose egg.
So yeah, I did double goose egg. I did a war there, and then I went to War Whales, and I really liked the atmosphere in War Whales, and so I just stayed there, but never actually.
Well, there's a lot of dual membership. I shouldn't even say a lot. I'm aware of some people that have dual membership. OneHive and War Whales accounts, and Savage is one of them. And
I think.
Is it?
I think it's down to just Savage.
I won't mention names. The ones I know for sure is Savage, but he's a cool guy. So I couldn't agree with you more that there's cool people in the clans. You mentioned that you went to UCLA. Is that correct? What did you study while you were at UCLA, and or what are your aspirations in that direction? Like MBA?
It was always business. Yeah. So business, and I've done several. And work-wise now I'm in video production.
Oh, wow.
Have a video production company that my friend and I run. We used to do promotional. We had a promotional agency where we did pretty much private contracting models and staffers for big conventions. So did that for a while, and then we moved into production, and that's kind of just because of the location. It's very prevalent here in Los Angeles, so it wasn't something like I dreamed of doing, but it just kind of fell into it. And so that's kind of, I have a background in video
You know
editing
that
and production, so the YouTube thing came
I do
pretty,
love. We were talking earlier
easy.
about that. That I do love some of the things that you're doing with your intros. Like that goblin smack is so freaking funny. You meant so the staffing in the models. And did you mean like just staffing models, or did you mean like models? You know, like girls. Oh, so
yeah, girls. It's called promotional modeling. There is like a subcategory of models, but yeah, we would staff events for clients at conventions and any kind of
so I'm married.
Kind of brand promotion.
I would never. I don't think I would fare well in that. Plus, my wife's in the room right here. I love you to death, dear. But it's Friday night, and you're around some models. What's your significant others or your close people think about the time that you spend on the game and on the channel?
I mean,
ladies, did y'all hear that? You want me to give a shout out to Blondie? Because I know everybody wants Blondie.
Blondie actually lives. She lives kind of close to me. We actually talked about getting sugarfish. So Blondie, that offer's still open. We can go grab sugarfish. Even though she likes sugarfish way more than I do, I'll go. I've
never met her. I do listen to the Buy Forever show every now and then, though. So yeah, she's
a great co-host.
They're awesome.
Shout out to you. I've done the show lots of times. It's always fun to be on the show.
All right, so let's move on to more the YouTube channel. Let's finish that segment off. What advice do you have for anybody that is aspiring to start a YouTube channel?
The advice would probably just be make sure it's something you enjoy. Because I get questions a lot. Probably the most asked questions, besides just what do you use to record, is people will ask like if they should do music or do commentary and all. And I was just kind of for me, I enjoyed listening more to commentary. Like I was way more drawn to Jake and Swidman with their explanations and talking and interviews than like the recaps where it's just some house music playing, even if it's music I like. Like I've always just liked commentary. So that's, for me, it was never a question of like, oh, it was just like, yeah, I want to do commentary. So what you enjoy, you got to do, because it's a lot of hours and work. I'm sure, right. Recording and stuff, especially if you do it daily. If it's not something you like, it's going to drive you crazy and you'll burn out.
That's good advice. Do you play anything else? Like any other mobile game or console game that you're really into?
It's funny that I actually don't. For a while I haven't, because I always was a gamer growing up. Like, had PlayStation, played Final Fantasy. I was always into Nintendo, played Mario's and Smash Bros. And Legend of Zelda. Always was into games. But since Clash of Clans, it's also probably part of just, growing up and not having a console. Maybe if I did, I play some maybe like FIFA or stuff. Always liked sports
like
games.
FIFA, like in soccer?
But yeah, FIFA, the soccer game. But since doing Clash and, being as involved as I am in it with, co-leading, and then, now the point it's gotten to having Twitter and doing YouTube, and the time that takes, I don't really have time. It's more than enough time devoted to this to where I don't have time to sit down, I don't think, and just play a PlayStation game. You mentioned Final Fantasy, and that is a soft spot in my heart because I love them. 7 was off the chain. I love 10. Yeah, 10 too. Yeah, I love 10
because they have soccer. Of course, you love 10.
What was
yeah. I forget. I don't know what it's called, but you're right. They play soccer underwater. They do.
I loved that game. I spent so many hours in that like sub mini game, whatever you want to call it. Loved that.
Have you played 15
was
yet?
so fun with the Aeons. I think 11 was the last one.
You have got to play 15
that I played.
It is if you love the series, 15 will not let you down. It won't. It's a really nice play on it. But
yeah, I played 7 through 11. So.
That's instead of saying what troop best defines you or is your favorite or whatever like that, let's talk about Final Fantasy VII. What's the favorite Final Fantasy VII game of the 4 that you've played, 7 through 11, and why?
What was my favorite?
No, the game
character.
Itself. Which one?
Or out of those, it's a split between for sure 7 or 10. Like 100%, it's 7 or 10. Those are the two that stand out so much. Probably 10. I really liked the
Aeons.
they summons.
Aeons,
called. Yeah, Aeons. The Aeons were so cool. And just the whole gameplay. And then there were so many cool mini games and side things like that, the water ball sport thing. It's got to be 10. But 7.
Yeah.
7 was really
for me,
fun.
it would have to be 7. And just very quickly, the reason why is, well, number one, it was game changing with PlayStation. It was the first of its kind, different from the first 6. And when what's her name, Ariel, whatever the chick's name is, that dies after the first CD, like that legit hit me in my heart. Like I was like no, she died. Why? This is a game. She can't die. You know.
I just pulled up on my computer. I wanted to see the characters here. Yeah, Red 13 and Vincent. Yeah, it was such a good character. I feel like probably 7 definitely had the best.
But also
character
10 was
lineup.
game changing too. Like even the graphics alone. But.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, 10 was amazing.
Really, I didn't want to take up too much of your time on a Friday night because I know you got access to all these models and you're single. So, but I just wanted to say thank you.
Yeah, I'm
sure there is.
Outside
I'm
of my
super
door.
jealous.
They're banging on the door. They're like, "Please, Snip."
There was one question I had to ask or say, a comment I say. I had this basically say, "What's up, Snup?" or Snoop, SNUP. What's up with that? Is that what's that all about? No, I was told. I was like, "Hey, what should I? Do you guys have any questions of what I should ask Snip?" And they're like, "Call him Snup. He loves that."
Oh, I mean. It's like a Garsky thing, you know. Garsk gets called Garsk and Garsake and Gasket and the Heroeless Queen Walker. That's just, you know, Snup, Scriptus. Like I just have a lot of Snup is like, I think Dirt probably he might have been the first. He instead of writing like hashtag rip Snip, he wrote rup Snup. I think that's the first time I can remember seeing Snup is because he wrote rup Snup instead of rip Snip. But yeah, that's probably just me being trolled.
I think it was.
There's nothing deeper into Snup.
All right. Well, I wasn't sure. I had to ask, and I'm not going to get into what do you think the game needs or anything only because. You do a lot of the explanation about Town Hall 10, Town Hall 11, and Town Hall 9 on your video. So I think, you know, it'd be doing a disservice to just talk about it here. I'll just reference everybody in the description to go. Snup says to go check out your channel.
I'll change the name of that. I'll change the name of the series.
I'll be
to
looking
Snup
for
Attacks.
It. And I am going to go look for your live attacks, especially if it's a fail. You best believe I'm going to go put that on there.
Oh yeah, I mean, we just hashtag rip Snip on there and put the link to Snip failing. Yeah, because it definitely it's 100% Dirt with the AQWOC Govaho because I remember we recorded pretty similar, close times to each other, and he just absolutely wrecked.
It was maybe that's why. Maybe you guys were so close to each other that I'm mistaken. I mean that probably is the case, but either way, I will put it on there. But in the last closing comment here, as we wrap things up here, is there anything that you wanted to say, shout-outs or anything like that? Well, obviously, good luck tomorrow. You know, I know you have a 9 and a 10.
Well, I was gonna say OneHive is going down tomorrow. OneHive is about to get wrecked. We got the beast waters out, the raid spray. It's gonna be a bloodbath tomorrow. That's what I was gonna say.
Well, you could. But we do have Vincent, so it's game over. We have Vincent and Savage. Last time we warred, you guys had Savage, so that's true.
Oh yeah, you can.
And I'm sad. I'm sad. Slothfuls is not in this war. I'm legit. No shit. I am legit sad because Slothfuls is a beast.
Yeah, we're pretty. It's not ideal to have one of your best, probably our best Town Hall 10 attacker, on vacation. So
right?
Thanks a lot, Slowfuls, for leaving us hanging to go on a ski trip with your girlfriend. Like, how selfish are you, dude? What the hell, man? Real life before Clash?
Anything else you want to say? Any shout outs you want to give, man?
I mean, I already gave my shout outs to GUnit, of course. Shout out to War Whales, to they all know. I mean, it comes with it. Shout out to them. Shout out to all the I don't know. Shout out to all my YouTube subscribers and people that have supported and helped me get to where I'm at now. It's awesome. It's despite the trolls. I mean, and we had our little incident where we see what
beautiful.
YouTube trolling can be like, and it can be it's beautiful. But to be honest, my comment section is actually not as bad as a lot of YouTube channels I've seen. So
there.
it is nice. It's appreciated. Maybe it'll change now that I said this. I'll totally jinx it, and it'll just be all trolls now. But yeah, so shout out and thanks to my followers, and shout out to your subscribers for watching this.
Well, thank you, man.
Come subscribe.
His link will be in the description. Good luck tomorrow.
But it'll be no good though, because it'll have changed to SNUP.
Oh, I had one for you. Hey, hold on. Why don't you stream? I've never heard of you streaming.
I don't know, actually. There's no good reason why I have. I just kind of, I don't know. It's just not something I've thought of doing. There's plenty of good streamers, I guess. I don't know. It was
exactly.
Funny. Four Wheels doesn't have a. See, I like Shub.
He's very entertaining.
Shub is awesome. Shout out to Shub. He'll be streaming. Well, since you're putting this live, so your people know. I mean, I'm sure.
I'm going to. Yeah.
I don't know
tomorrow.
You stream. Okay, so if you guys don't want to, these are your followers. I was gonna say, come Shub stream. He's gonna be, I think, streaming from our side.
Yeah, I think Adam is gonna do our side, the ending, and I'm doing the opening.
You're doing the opening, okay? Yeah, so I have like I have the Samurai Snip series where I do live stuff.
Well, I planted the seed. You need to make it grow. Because I know people from your channel are going to come watch this because they want to. That's the other reason why I do this is so they want to know more about you, and you can't be self-loathing and just put your talk about yourself for 30 minutes. I
don't give it to you. I mean, I can. Let's be honest. Maybe I will now. Next Snip Says will be.
But I hope they push you to stream, because maybe you can bring on John, and you guys he can talk some, and we can get some of that sexy white Morgan Freeman voice going on.
I try to get John on anytime I can, because getting John on is just like, it's like having a celebrity. It's just free views. It's just guaranteed views and, shares. People are going to be like, dude, check out this fucking voice that Snip. I hope I can cuss on here. Check out this awesome guy Snip just had on his channel that sounds way better than him. I wish he would come back. I remember at the beginning, that was most of the comments on my videos was, where is the War Whales YouTube? When is John coming back? Why are we stuck with you? That was pretty much when John kind of phased out. That was all the comments I got, and I was like, yeah, I know. I wish he would come back as well and replace me.
Well, with all this carnage that you've declared of War Whales doing on OneHive tomorrow, are we going to get to see one of your live 10-on-10 attacks to try to get down that 3 tomorrow?
Lord, no. I don't think I'm gonna put any extra pressure on myself to do, because I'm not the greatest Town Hall 10, so I don't need that extra pressure. I'll just record live other people, and then I'll just do my attack in the middle of the night when no one's awake and watching. That's how I like it. Not on stream, not on anything, just. And then the non 3-star can just get swept away.
And if I beast it, of course I'm putting it on.
If I beast it, then yeah, you can watch the replay. But yeah, no, I don't think. I do enjoy it. It is fun, and we always used to back in the day. It was kind of our thing was to be on TeamSpeak, because of course OneHive uses TeamSpeak, so we always used to be on TeamSpeak. Because for us then that was like new and fresh. It was our first top war clan. It was so cool. So we used to be on TeamSpeak all the time, and the GUnit, we used to routinely heckle each other and talk and joke around as we were attacking. So I got pretty comfortable. I don't need like total silence when I attack. Like, I'm fine. You can ask anyone who has ever been on Discord or TeamSpeak with me when we attacked. Like, I talk to them and stuff while we're attacking. So that's always been a funny thing. So when I'm doing the live recordings, it doesn't feel weird to commentate while I'm attacking, is what I was getting at. But no, I don't think for this.
I know they're gonna ask me to do, like, why don't you attack? Like, the reason why I wait a couple of hours,
on stream.
Well, in the last
You
week
attack now.
with 6 glitches, I got my first in just because I can't plan on stream. I can't do it. So and then I had 1 attack remaining. They're like, why don't you use your other attack live? And I'm like, I got to plan for it first, and there's no way I'm gonna miss a live, and I gotta plan. You know, I gotta look at the base and count some tiles, bring up my projector.
Oh, wait, we're talking about
Yep.
Town Hall 9 now. Oh no, Town Hall 9. Yo,
just
all the way.
air miners all day.
Town Hall 9 is just scroll through whatever army I have cooked. I'll just scroll through bases and say, okay, it'll work on this base. And within, like I just did, the newest series I started was Lay Plan, which was just kind of like a live attack and talking about a plan series. And the video I just did with that I released 2 days ago or something was in the 3-Point Park War. I think I did it within, I'd have to check the video, but within, like as soon as the war started, I knew, because I already knew that I had this funny back and forth with Lady B on Twitter over like a joke about a date for a Clash Bash thing and me being fat. And so just to be funny, I thought it'd be funny to do a plan of her base. So I knew it was going to be her base as the war started, and I immediately clicked on her base, and it just happened to be perfect for the comp that I've been using lately. And I hit her, I think, within like 20 minutes. And this was including setting up for the video, and then like 5, 6, 10 minutes of talking through the plan, and then did it. So that was literally like 5 minutes of planning. So Town Hall 9, no excuses.
Okay, well then I guess we should see nothing but 13 fresh hits, right? Tomorrow?
Yeah, if you're streaming the beginning of it, I'm going to come on there, and I'm going to be one of the people in your chat screaming, hey,
good,
do a live hit. Or you should hit me then if you're Town Hall 9.
I'm at the bottom. I'm a low man on the totem pole. Kagan's Beauty. Eventually, though, because I got a max 10, so eventually maybe I'll have to come back, or we'll have to do a collaboration where I can actually hit your 10 on 10. Because I actually have one that could actually do that, 3740. I don't know what the weight is, but I know it's max defense, 3740. Yep.
Well, my 9's in there, man. So if you want to take a swing at my 9, tell everyone now. Say, hands off Snup.
I'll see what I can do. I'll see what I can do for sure.
Yeah. My base won't be trolly, I promise. But no,
did you get it from Genghis Khan? Because if you did, I guarantee there's going to be a troll Tesla.
Oh, my town hall 10 is actually, yes, it is a GK base. GK is an awesome base builder. Shout out to GK. I am a terrible base builder, probably just because I built a little bit back in OneHive days when they kind of quote unquote forced people to, and my bases were never the best. And so I'm very appreciative to the people who do build sick, awesome bases that I get to then watch defend. And shout out to
would you be mad if I used the Grundinator attack to smash your base? Yeah.
Town Hall 9?
Why? How do you feel about the Grundinator attack? Do you think it requires any skill?
The word spam? Besides the word spam? I mean, I love Pekkas. I mean, don't get me wrong. I just, Town Hall 9, it's maybe if Town Hall 9 was more balanced, I would care more. If it,
it's very forgiving. I will say that.
It's sad. I FC'd my base, my quote unquote new base for the war tomorrow. Today, we had a couple new bases I was sent, and they were just getting fresh tripled. I was just so deflated. Like, what's the point of the? It just doesn't not worth the time you put in.
There's some truth to that. I would agree, but if it defends once, it did its job. But usually that defense is from trolls, like a Tesla farm or a troll Tesla that you just didn't see.
But it's so. If you see the lay plan, she had 3 corner Teslas, and one of them had an air mine that even killed my baby dragon in the beginning. R.I.P. Poor little baby drag. Was just trying to spit some fire, hang out, and it just boom, dead. So that was pretty savage. But she had 3 troll Teslas, and I probably had 20 of 30 hogs, or 20 of 20 plus of 36 hogs up at the beginning, and so a corner Tesla isn't going to do anything to that. So yeah, it's a sad state for Town Hall 9 right now. All my recommendation is to at least plan out your swag. You since you know you'll have the swag, is plan it out beforehand so you do something unique and not just basic like dropping a spell on the CC like what I did. And it's because I didn't properly plan out what I could have done with it.
Well, I'll look forward to the base reveals tomorrow, and I'm streaming at 5 p.m. your time. 5 p.m. your time tomorrow. And so hopefully I'll see you there. But we'll end it on that one, just because I don't want the video to be too long. Once again, it's Brutus, reminding you, Brutus and Snip, or Snup, reminding you, you got to be better than a double, and we'll check you next time.